Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. The first reptile that I ever purchased was actually a Crested Gecko. It was around 3 years ago. So because I've had my Crested Gecko for a really long time, I've gone through many different food companies and different flavors and different powders, meal supplements, everything for Crested Geckos. I've gone through a lot of them and I've tried a lot of different products. So in today's video, I'm going to be rating Crested Gecko diets from best to worst. There are many different companies out there that are making endless flavor options of Crested Gecko foods. Not all of those companies are making good food, and some are just a flat out waste of money. So today I'm going to try to help you save money and choose the best Crested Gecko food for you and your gecko. Out of all the companies that make Crested Gecko food, there's like 5 or 10. I really only trust 2. And those 2 companies are Pangea Crested Gecko food and Repashy Superfoods. But if I had to feed only one of those companies, which I do, it would be Repashy. It would be Pangea. And I'm pretty sure you can guess, but the #1 company in my opinion is Pangea Crested Gecko food. I'm gonna talk about flavors because there's like countless flavors out there, as you guys can see. So my favorite flavor of Pangea that I like to buy is the watermelon flavor. So you might be asking, why is it my favorite? It's my favorite because it's my gecko's favorite. So if we look here, these are just empty feeding cups that I've fed my Crested Gecko over the past week. Feeding my Crested Gecko only the watermelon flavor. And I'm gonna show you the food cups here. So my Crested Gecko has finished every single one. There's really just like nothing left in them. She's licked almost every single bowl of the Pangea watermelon flavor clean. Now the other flavors are also good. There's banana and papaya. That's a pretty good flavor. My Crested Gecko kind of likes it. This one here is also banana and papaya, but I guess they changed the packaging because this one was bought like maybe like 6 months ago and this one was really recent. But yeah, both banana and papaya. My gecko kind of likes them. It's okay. She does eat it when I offer, but the bowl is never clean. There's probably only like a couple licks taken out of it. And this flavor right here is banana and apricot. So that one was banana and papaya. This one, banana and apricot. It's another pretty good flavor. I would say my gecko likes this one more than the banana and papaya one. We're just about finished talking about Pangea, but the top 2 flavors of Pangea would be these 2 right here. And this one is clearly the winner for my gecko because she absolutely loves it and she eats it all the time. After the Pangea brand, the second company that I trust is Repashy Superfoods. The only flavors that my gecko has tried of Pangea is the original flavor and the higher protein version, which is meant for like younger geckos. So with Repashy, I don't really have any complaints about the company or about the food. In fact, it helped my Crested Gecko grow up, it helped her get strong, and it helped her get big. She grew up with no defects and no deficiencies in calcium or anything like that. So I don't really have any complaints with Repashy. The reason that I switched over to Pangea is because this is the brand that I've always really wanted to try, but they were just never available in Canada. And then like around 2 years ago, they became readily available. So I bought it, and ever since then, my gecko loved it. So I never really went back to Repashy, but Repashy is a company that I would trust. In my opinion, those 2 companies, you can't go wrong with Repashy and Pangea. They're perfectly fine. I don't have any complaints with them. But in my opinion, Pangea is superior to Repashy. Next, we're going to talk about the not so great companies and brands that are making Crested Gecko food. And my recommendation is that you stay away from these companies and that you don't waste your money on them. Third on the list after Repashy, again, I don't recommend these. It would be the Zoomed Crested Gecko food. So there's a variety of flavors of the Zoomed version, and they claim to have probiotics in them. But why do I not recommend it? Simply because my Crested Gecko didn't like it. She didn't touch it. I don't have the Zoomed food. I got it at a Crested Gecko Expo. It was a free sample, and thank God it was a free sample because I threw it out and I didn't waste money on it. Yeah, my gecko just never showed interest in the Zoomed food, so I just never really bought it again or tried it again because the sample that I got, it was a big sample. It wasn't just one of those little packets. It was a big bottle. But yeah, my gecko just never showed interest in it, so I found it was a waste of money and I threw it out. However, if Zoomed is the only available Crested Gecko food like in your area, then of course get it and try it. Maybe your gecko will like it because no 2 Crested Geckos will have the same taste. Maybe yours will like the Zoomed one. Maybe it will be its favorite. But yeah, it's definitely not my favorite, nor would I ever purchase it. So if you have all these brands available to you and availability isn't a problem, I suggest you start with Pangea. And I guarantee you your gecko will love Pangea. If not, then I suggest you try Repashy, and that will probably work. Lastly, let's talk about the worst Crested Gecko food out there. The absolute worst. This just deserves to be in the trash. If you're wondering why I'm so strongly opinionated on this, it's because it's a big waste of money and it's not even good food. So on my channel in the past, I've actually made a review on this food before, and I trashed it. I completely trashed it because I threw away the whole package and it was like 15 bucks for like 8 servings, which is crazy because a small bag of Pangea is usually like $13 and you can get a lot of servings out of one pouch. But in that old video, I did like the calculations and stuff, and like it was just a big waste of money. The worst of the worst is the Exo Terra single serve Crested Gecko diet. It's absolutely disgusting. And why do I know that? No, I didn't taste it, but just the smell, it smelled like bones. It smelled like ash. It smelled like death. It was literally, it didn't smell fruity at all. It was disgusting. I bought the Exo Terra food from the pet store just to try it and see if my gecko would like it. Honestly, I think my Crested Gecko was repulsed by the Exo Terra food because she did not touch it either. I don't blame her because it smelled like death. It was horrible. While it is convenient to have the cups pre-made and just ready to go, Repashy and all these other powdered ones are not hard to make at all. You need is water. That's it. The consistency of the Exo Terra food was just not there. You could literally turn the cup upside down and it wouldn't fall out. It was literally like jello. It was disgusting and gross. And I recommend you completely steer clear of the Exo Terra food because it's just a big waste of money. I'm basically begging you guys to never buy the Exo Terra food for Crested Geckos because it's just a big waste of money. If you want to waste your money, go ahead and try it. But my experience and a bunch of people in the comment section of that video told me that they had the same experience too and their gecko didn't like it and they ended up throwing it away. So if you like wasting money, then fine by me, waste your money. But just know that I did give you a fair warning that Exo Terra food is the last on the list. I would never purchase this. I don't know why it's in pet stores. I don't know how it passed their inspection. I don't know what geckos they were feeding it to, but it's just disgusting and gross and not a good food really. Alright, so that pretty much sums up the Crested Gecko food discussion. So if you came here just for the Crested Gecko food and to know which one is the best, you already found your answer. It's the watermelon Pangea. So that is the best food out there. So if you want to try a new food for your gecko, maybe buy that one. If you already have food that your gecko likes, that's perfectly fine. And if you don't have a gecko already and you're not sure of which food to get, I'm sure this video did help you out. I just have my male corn snake Cruz out. He's getting really big and his birthday is coming very soon. He was actually born on December 25th of 2019. So his birthday, his 1-year anniversary is pretty much coming up soon in a couple of weeks here. And he's doing really well, in case you guys are wondering, with his nice checkerboard pattern on his underbelly. And if you're wondering why you didn't see my Crested Gecko, it's because I don't take her out like really ever unless I have to take her out of her enclosure. But I just don't like to take out my Crested Gecko because I find they're really just more of a looking lizard. I know some people will disagree, and don't get me wrong, I did used to take out my gecko like every single day when I first got her a couple years ago. But eventually I just stopped because I found that she would just always jump and was just trying to like jump and jump and jump. So I figured she probably just likes being in her enclosure more where she feels secure and safe. It's not like a snake where they'll just chill on your arm. It's more of they're just gonna keep jumping. That's why you didn't get to see my Crested Gecko, but I do have a lot of videos of my Crested Gecko on this channel about the enclosure and everything really. So if you want, you can go watch those videos. And this next part is, again, completely unrelated to the original video topic, but I'm just gonna be giving an update on my ball python, just in case anyone that watched my previous videos just wants to know how he's doing. This is my male ball python that I rescued off of like Craigslist, basically. So it was a rehoming situation. He's doing really well. He's very nice, like I've always been saying. He's very curious and intuitive. He's really smart, in my opinion. All he likes to do all day is just chill in his cool spot. Then at night, I noticed he does hang out on this branch right here. That's because there's a ceramic heat emitter right there. So he likes to take in all of his heat on this branch. Of course, he does also have his warm hide right here. He barely uses it unless when he's shedding, I guess, because there's a lot of humidity in there. But yeah, I find that he really likes his enclosure update and he's really making use of all this extra space that he has. Alright, so that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed me talking about the different foods that I've experienced with my Crested Gecko, talking about what she did or didn't like. Hopefully I saved you some money so you don't have to buy the bad food in the future and go through the whole process of your gecko rejecting it and you being confused and stressed out. Hopefully I helped you decide better on which food to feed your gecko. Yeah, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.